I've heard people say that the 911 GT3 is like a race car for the roads. Why would they say that? Is it because it's loud? Is it because the ride is really stiff? Maybe it's because it's really fast. It's fast. But is it a real Porsche race car? Let's go find out.
We're Edmunds. We test hundreds of cars each year on the road and at our private track, so you get the most trusted reviews. If you want to know which car, truck, or SUV is the best, then stick with us.
The 911 GT3 has gotten some updates, kind of like Porsche usually does, where it's a very gradual refining of the car. But as you can see in the front, you've got new headlights, which it shares with the rest of the 911 family. They're kind of all-in-one headlights, so you get turn signals, running lights, headlights everywhere. That allows them to kind of redesign the front end and open it up for more cooling, which you need now with engines. It should come as no surprise that this is just an evolution of the last really capable 911 GT3. Because that's what Porsche does. They just evolve.
So yeah, be sure to follow Edmunds News to keep up to date on all the latest refreshes and releases for any of your favorites, not just Porsches.
Other changes that Porsche has bestowed upon this 911 GT3 are redesigned front suspension. It was designed in a wind tunnel to actually give more downforce at higher speeds and make the car more stable when you're doing track work, because a lot of owners do both road and track work at their cars because it's just that car. They've also improved the steering as well, and not that it really needed a lot of help, but it's just so direct, so communicative. There's also been changes made to the engine. Even with pretty strict European emission regulations, with the help of redesigned cylinder heads, with camshafts taken from the GT3 RS, which is just nuts, this engine still makes 502 horsepower, even with all the smog equipment in place, which is pretty impressive. Thankfully, the heart of the engine hasn't really changed. It still revs to 9,000 RPM, makes peak power at 8,500 RPM, and it still makes that sound that makes your mouth open up when you really give it gas. Yeah, like that.
This video is brought to you by Bumper.com. You can get an AI-powered summary of a vehicle history report that's simple and to the point. With just a VIN or a license plate number, learn about a car's history quick. To learn more, visit Bumper.com/Edmunds.
I'm not on a road, not really on a racetrack either, but I'm at the Porsche Experience Center in Los Angeles. And while this isn't a racetrack, it does a pretty good impression of one. And there is just no other production car that feels quite like a GT3 does on a closed course. It's the communication that you get from this car, the front axle, the grip, and how much you can trust it. The car tells you so much that you have so much confidence that you can actually go faster than you might think you can go. Oh, just listen to that. Because this isn't a racetrack, I can't really comment on some of the changes that were made to the suspension to highlight front end stability at higher speeds, but as far as it has such good compliance, it rides bumps on this slightly bumpy circuit.
Another mechanical change to the new GT3 is the shorter final drive ratio. It's 8%, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it makes for noticeably snappier acceleration. And that change to the final drive ratio is applied to both the PDK and 6-speed manual transmissions. Don't worry, the top speed is still 194 miles an hour in case you're interested.
I can notice the shorter rear end in this car. Feels really good. The acceleration is crisp as always. You can just trust it. It's really what this car does best. Now, something new for this year are these Pirelli tires. This one is currently wearing Trofeo RS tires, which are an option available at your local Porsche dealer. These are really sticky tires. And the harder you drive them, the better they work. Like this.
Pirelli says the standard P0R tires are primarily road tires, but the Trofeo RS are like 90-95% track tires and only 5-10% for the street. Keep that in mind if you buy a set, and don't complain when they wear out in about 5,000 miles.
Oh, they just get better. The car just gets better. The steering. That's a tricky section, and there's so much confidence there. Great. And I know that some people will say that this car's gotten a little bit soft and it's not as hard edge as it used to be. That's another great thing about this car, is that it's become easier to drive for more people. So more people can enjoy it, more people can have fun, more people can go fast. And for all the years this car has been on sale, all its iterations, it's just gotten better every year. Incremental changes, and man, you got something special. But as good as this is, it's still not a race car. Not by a long shot.
This is Porsche's newest race car, the Porsche 911 Cup Car. Based on and developed simultaneously with the 911 GT3, the 911 Cup Car has long been the entry point for wealthy enthusiasts and young talent around the world.
All right, so this is a real race car, obviously. And though it has some similarities to the road car, kind of the shape of the dash and the view out of the car, it's most definitely not a race car. This does have a start-stop button. Check that out. Kind of cool. Safety nets, everything else in here is pretty basic. So yeah, over here we've got this 8-button panel. This is new, and this is the brake bias knob. So this allows you to control the amount of braking force to the front wheels or back wheels. Again, I've been told to not touch that. But if you're a pro driver, if you're very highly skilled, you can adjust this sometimes corner by corner on a racetrack. So when you would normally want to change stuff like this is dependent on weather, if it's raining, if it's hot or cold, if it's the start of the race, the end of the race. Again, I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to touch any of this stuff. But you can see through here, the carbon fiber paddles. You can't really see it, but down there, there's a clutch pedal. So this does use a clutch, and it is a bone stock looking clutch pedal, which is interesting in a race car. But you've got a real mix of like race car tech and road car parts and road car tech, and that's what makes a production-based sports car so attractive, is that you can really feel like you're sitting in a 911. Here we go. Don't stall it. Look at me not stalling it. Ready to be a pro driver. Not really.
Because this car is wearing Pirelli racing slicks, it's really important to bring them up to proper operating temperature before really pushing.
Clean the tires off a little bit, heat them up.
Ahead of me in a GT3 RS, no less, is ex-Porsche factory racing driver Patrick Long. He's here to show me the line and gradually bring me up to speed.
Everything feels so light in this car. So direct. Steering is great. Tires aren't quite warm yet. Fast through this corner. Fast, fast, fast. Let's go. that's it. And that's how you drive a 911 Cup car. Good Lord. That's something else. And then not every day you get to drive a factory Porsche Cup car. So I'll take that. After having been in that Carrera Cup car, there's so many similarities with the road car. The shape of the dash, the view outside, and also the comfort. I know that's a race car, so it's a little extreme, but the driving position in 911s has for so long been impeccable, perfectly judged. I'm super comfortable, and it takes no time to get comfortable in these cars. The air conditioning works well enough. It's got heated seats, so if it's cold, you're warm. If it's hot, you're cool. And when you're comfortable, you're confident. And when you're confident, you can go fast. And Porsche has just been making confident drivers out of so many people for so long. And this, to drive this iteration of a 911 is just proof that all of these slow changes really matter. If you like videos like this and you'd like to see more, please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. That's the way that we know that we're doing something that you want to watch. This car is constantly interested in what you're doing. A lot of other sports cars at this level feel very bored with you. And if an automobile can yawn, you'd kind of get the sense they'd be yawning. But this car is just it's watching you. It's helpful. It makes you feel like you're going fast even when you're not. And that makes you want to go faster. It makes you feel comfortable. This is not a frightening car. It's approachable. Even though it's really stiff and really extreme, it's still as friendly as a standard 911. Just love driving this car. And I know they've gotten bigger. I know they've gotten heavier, but they've also gotten faster. They've gotten more comfortable, and they've gotten more competent. And I know that you pay a price for that competency as well. This car with the Visoc pack, magnesium wheels, these seats, and all the other options it has, stickers at just over 300,000 bucks, which is not inexpensive. Car that can take you to work, car that can take you to the track and make you feel like a hero, even for just a couple of hours. I wouldn't call it a bargain, but you know, it's hard to put a price on this feeling. On that note, I think I'm gonna go buy a lotto ticket. Maybe if I win big, I'll buy that Carrera Cup car too.